What's happening, guys? So I thought I would do my tattoo video that I've been talking about a couple of times. I have the house to myself so I can just relax, take my time, not worry about somebody hearing me, because I find that a little bit weird. So should we start from the beginning and work our way forwards? I think that's probably the best bet. So the first one, actually let's talk about why I like tattoos, why I got my first one. It's kind of a long story, but I guess I've got time. So I used to draw on myself at school. Anything. I don't even remember what I used to draw. But I didn't really think much about making anything permanent until I had a holiday with an ex of mine. We went to Spain. There was a guy that had something quite big on his back to end up being a memorial for one of his family members that he'd lost. I'd recently lost my granddad, so I thought, what a great idea. Let's get something permanent, because my granddad meant a lot to me. We had a lot of memories. Yeah, so that's what I did. So I went to my local tattoo studio, which was Inktrusion in Three Bridges in Crawley, and I got his initials. So let's have a look. So it's JHS, just there. So that was my first one. And I probably had that for a good year or two. And then the person that I married, my husband, is quite artistic, so he said, why don't you do a little bit more and add a scroll and a flower. Now, I'm not massively happy with this one. I think more could have been done. My tattoo artist free-handed that, and I just think it looks a bit shabby, and I think the flower could be a little bit more colourful. I wanted a little bit more going down the arm, which he didn't do. I guess I could extend it a little bit down my forearm, but then I'm not quite sure what I would extend it with. But yeah, so that was my first one. My second one, which leads to a longer story, and I've covered it. The tattoo parlour that I went to didn't cover it. It was actually this dragonfly right here. So you can see the wings. It's not been covered very well. They did a bit of a shoddy job. I'm massively unhappy with that, because you can still see the tail, the head, the wing. I mean, it's just not great. Yeah, and this was in Birmingham, near Birmingham Way. I can't even remember the name of the parlour. I went back the second time, they added more colour. It just wasn't great. So I'm now looking into other studios that are closer to home to see what can be done about that one. But so that was my second dragonfly. It kind of looked like a lotus flower dragonfly thing. It was a bit of an illusion tattoo. You could, whatever you saw is what it was, basically. I liked it for a while, but the artist that did that one in Haywards Heath went too deep, ended up scarring it, and the ink ended up sort of splaying, and it just wasn't great. So that's why I decided to cover it. End up not really covering it at all. As you can see, you can still see the dragonfly there, look. The black bit is all dragonflies, so not a great cover up. If anybody knows any good tattoo artists that want to do something with that, you can let me know. Not tons of money in the bank, but we'll see what the ideas are. The third one I got done, which happens to be my absolute favourite, is my masks. I am a theatre addict. I love it. I try and go as much as money will allow. Absolutely love the detailing, the shading, the lines. This was done by Holly in Brighton. Again, I can't remember the name of the parlour. I will link them all, and you can check their work out. She was amazing. It was literally pain-free, and it's it's the best tattoo that I have. It didn't even take her very long, maybe an hour and a half-ish. The aftercare was amazing. I bought some products, some cream. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. There you go, guys. Closer look. It's my favourite tattoo that I have. She just did so well with it. Yep. So then, pretty much within a year of that one being done, Brighton had a tattoo convention. They do it every year. I think the dates change a little bit either way, but they had it at the Brighton Centre. My first tattoo convention had to be marked with a tattoo. A guy called Josh was over from the States. He did it exchange rate, so I think it was something like £50, which was a bit of a rip-off for what it was, but it was my tiny music symbol right here. It looks a lot darker than the other ones. He took a good half an hour on this one just to make it nice and crisp. He again was very good, minimal pain. I mean, tattoos don't really hurt anyway, they're just slightly annoying. Bit more of a burning vibration thing going on rather than pain. So as you can see, they sort of line up nicely. Lots of gaps in case anything needs to be done. In terms of adding more, but I don't really want a sleeve, so it's right there. See? I think that's lovely. I think that's really cute. It's probably the cutest tattoo that I have. Which leads me on to my big, massive one near Birmingham, which was meant to be the cover-up, which ended up not covering. But the other half of it is awesome. I'll have to move the camera for this one. But there it is. So let's cut the dragonfly out. It's a Super 55 mic. They tried to make it look a bit galaxy, hence the purple. And that big logo there is the Starlight Express logo. So they look like train headlights. And the swoosh, yeah. So the purple was meant to be because Starlight Express, Starlight, Galaxy, that kind of vibe. Wasn't my idea. But I kind of like it. The purple's okay. I probably would have preferred something more blue. But it's all good. I got it done. It's my skin. I just wish it would have covered the dragonfly a little bit more. Then I wouldn't have to still be thinking about it and still looking at that bloody thing. Yeah. So if you got a good view, it's the Super 55 mic. So there it is there. So the big old dragonfly down the bottom is still black, which kind of makes it look a bit shit. If I do that, it looks way better. So I'm happy with that from about there up as a whole. I'm not massively happy because it's not been covered. So, but there you have it. That's pretty much my whole forearm right there. Yeah, Starlight Express, swoosh. And the lights, I mean, the detail's amazing. Don't get me wrong, the detail's amazing. And I'm so thankful Starlight Express is one of their favourite. It's my favourite musical. I remember it from a really young age. My aunt took me with my cousin. It hit me like no other musical really has. We were so close to the stage. And this was when it was at the Apollo Victoria, which is now where Wicked is. They had a racetrack. The people actually skated, as opposed to the new version you see now where they do minimal skating. And there's really no ramps or track or anything for them to skate over. So it's a bit disappointing if you see it now and you've seen it before. But still, it affected me, and I really should have done something with that. Used it creatively and gone to stage school or used drama or done something with it. But for now, theatre is just a passion and a hobby and a love of mine, and that's why I will stick it on my skin if I want to stick it on my skin. The newest tattoo that's planned is possibly my daughter's fingerprint. Now, I like putting something about her on my body, but I don't really want her name or her date of birth or anything like that. I don't really like those kind of tattoos. I think they're a little bit tacky. But what you get is what you get. That's your prerogative. That's nothing to do with me. Me personally, I don't want her name on my body. I want something a little bit more personal that'll make you think, that might make you ask questions. Like all of mine kind of already do. People think I'm a singer. They look at that mic and think I'm a singer. I'm not a singer. I'm a shower singer. But I love the microphone. Elvis Presley used it in his live gigs. Massive Elvis Presley fan. So I like the style of the mic, and I like the look of the mic, and I have the mic on a cushion, and that is why I went for that as a tattoo. So that's the thought process behind it. So the fingerprint is possibly the next one, and I will for sure be going back to Brighton to get it done. I'm not sure if Holly is booked up till nearly Christmas, and we're in the beginning of August, so it'll have to be somebody else, but I trust that parlour implicitly. Their hygiene is top notch. Their decorations are awesome. It looks a little bit gothic when you go in there. I will link it in the description. So that's the plan. After the fingerprint, I'm not quite sure what's next. I don't know. I don't really have the funds to get loads done. But yeah, maybe something big. I don't know whether here, although in a tricep Looks pretty good, although it will be massively painful, and I'm not one for pain. All of my tattoos have been relatively pain-free so far, unless I've just got a high pain threshold and I don't know about it. So anyway, that's my tattoo video. Any questions, anything like that, just ask me in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I am still doing my 1,000,000 step challenge for diabetes. I am trying to raise as much as I can. Justgiving.com is the website you need to use. Search for me, Lisa Newman Hall. Anything. 50p. Heck, I don't care. I'm working my arse off in this heat to get these steps done. I'm averaging about 11,000 a day, which is awesome. I am 15,000 over what is needed at this precise time. So that's going really well. I'm showing off my tattoos in my vest. Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, it was nice talking to you guys. Nice to talk about my tats. The other thing I should possibly talk about, and I'm not sure whether you guys noticed, is my bare bits. My white bits. So rather than wait for questions, I have a condition called vitiligo. It makes no difference to tattoos at all, but what it does do is it eats away your skin tone. So it's a disorder to do with your immune system, and it's essentially just a bug in there just chomping away at my skin tone. So the first thing to go was actually my rings around my eyes. I have panda eyes, as my mum likes to call it. And then you notice little areas, the inside of my thighs, my armpits, see all the areas all going, and then my hands, this is all that's left on my hands, the rest is white. My elbows, as you've seen, it's all going there and there. This elbow's pretty bad this summer. And then you go at the inner forearm, so it's all going all along here. Now this doesn't bother me. I'm not superficial. I don't care what people have to say. I don't care what people think. Rather than stare at people with vitiligo, I think they probably prefer you ask questions. Winnie Harlow is probably one of the most famous people that has it. She's darker skinned, so it's more obvious. For me, I'm obviously paler, so it only really shows up when I get a tan, suntan, and when I burn my skin now. I don't burn skin tone, so I actually just go red, and it's really painful, more painful than actual sunburn. But the rest browns nicely when I'm out in the sun. As you can see there, that's what vitiligo looks like. So if anyone was questioning what the name was, that's what it's called. It's called vitiligo. It's a disease. I've heard there can be drugs that slow it down. I don't think it can be reversed. And I don't think it can be cured. They don't really know what it is, and they don't really know how it got there or where it stems from. They just know that it's an autoimmune disease. So I have an underactive thyroid. That is also an autoimmune disease. So it all goes hand in hand. They all just feed off each other. They're just having a big old party in my body. So that's what that is, and that's part of the reason why I think I got gestational diabetes, was because it's all just autoimmune based. Anyway, I can do a separate video on that if there's need for it, if there's want for it, you want me to talk a little bit more about it. I've had an underactive thyroid for 14 years, 15 years, a while. I was 21 when I was diagnosed, very, very young for an underactive thyroid. So if anyone's got any questions, hit me up, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.